Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Vijay, back with another book review. Today I'm going to be reviewing the book called 1984, written by George Orwell. George Orwell is considered one of the greatest literary figures of the 20th century. His books are mostly satirical works which revolve around different political ideologies. For example, his first book, Animal Farm, has also been regarded as one of the most famous examples of a satirical work, a fictional satirical work on communism. And it has one of the most famous lines that is, all are equal, but some are more equal than others. His works usually contain one single line or one single quote that embodies what he's trying to portray in this book. For example, in this book, the three lines that become the Bible of this book is war is peace, freedom is slavery, and ignorance is strength. It is first quoted in the beginning of the book, and the whole book revolves around these three very lines. This book too is also a satirical work on different political ideologies such as censorship, propaganda, and totalitarianism. It provides a commentary on some of the major governments and some of the major regimes which were present during the time when George Orwell was writing this book. For example, in Russia, the Stalin government had become a totalitarian government, and the Nazi and different dictatorships were professing censorship and propaganda. And this book contains all these three ideologies. It divides the world into three major forces. That is Oceania, which contains Britain and America, Eurasia, which contains Russia and a few other countries, and East Asia, which contains China, Japan, and some of the other Asian countries. The book mainly revolves around the protagonist, Winston Smith. Winston Smith is a worker of the outer party. It is the outer section of the great political party, INCSOC, that is present in Oceania. And Winston Smith works in the fiction and truth and fiction department, in which he has to change different facts which keep changing according to what the regime tells him to change. Because at that time in the world, the three powers are always fighting wars against each other, and sometimes two countries are allied and the other time they are fighting against each other. In this dystopian future, Winston Smith, who has become part of this outer party, wants to escape. He remembers his childhood when things were different, not very different from what they were now, but different. He slightly remembers a time when the world was more bright, when the world was different, when the world was better. But he has forgotten of how it actually was. He wants to remember, but the INCSOC and the party has completely demolished all signs of the past. And it says the past was completely bad. It makes up different facts and tells people that now is the best time that they are in. And as the story progresses, we see how Winston Smith also tries to delve deeper into the truth. As he rebels, he also finds ways to find out about the real truth. He also falls into a love affair with another party worker who works in the fiction department called Julia. And both of them together decide to find out what's real. They explore their love for each other and the reality of the world. And as the story progresses, we see by the end that Winston has completely changed. From a subordinate of the regime to a person who openly rebels, his mindset, ideologies, and the things that he knows are true have completely changed. This book is very intriguing for many different reasons. Firstly, it provides a commentary on the world as it was in the 1940s, and how George Orwell thought the world would be in 1984. He thought that the world would succumb to the great powers, the propaganda, the censorship, and the totalitarianism, and that the world would be completely different than it was, and that people can't remember when it wasn't different. Secondly, it also introduces a new language called newspeak, which contains a completely different vocabulary. And this newspeak, which is mostly professed by the INCSOC government, has a very special ability to not have many other meanings for a single word. So this book is very intriguing, and it provides a commentary, not just completely political, but it also provides the human side to the world where things are different, where things are more harder, are more difficult. And I really enjoyed this book for these reasons. If you enjoyed this book review as much as I did reading this book, be sure to subscribe and like, and I'll see you all in another video.